Another lucha pose. 2 weeks in a row.
All right. With that being said, let's get it going right here, right now. This is TMI, and you're listening to episode number 18 of Too Much Information You Didn't Know by Now. My name is Chad, and every single week I'm joined here by the one and only Vampire Queen. Strike a pose. Look at that. Shelly Martinez. How about that? What's going on? I mean, we're a little bit off our normal schedule, but I feel like it's been forever.
I know.
What's going on, kid? How you doing?
First of all, let me just tell you a little bit about. I always have a story about what happens right before the show, don't I? Every time.
Hope you didn't crap your pants this time, did you?
Not this time. No. Thank goodness. It has nothing to do.
No fat Elvis on the toilet, right?
No. None of that. I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful. So, it's been crazy for me. Like, I know I say that every week, but I really mean it. And so I was like, dude, I wasn't going to have any drinks until tomorrow night. But I was like, dude, after this week and a half I've already had, it's for the show. Who cares? I'm going to get some vino. So I didn't want to bother Metal Jesus with it, right? Because he just got home. I'm not going to go do that to him. Especially, it was a last minute kind of thought, So I was like, dude, whatever. I'll just Uber Eats it, okay? So I was like, if I'm going to Uber Eats it, I'm going to get a wine that's one of my absolute favorites. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right? So I put the order in. I get him a couple beers. And so then this was 30 minutes before we're going to record, right? So I'm like, I have time, whatever. And I was medicating. And then all of a sudden, the time gets getting pushed back. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Because the place is not that far from me. So then the guy writes me and he's like, there's something wrong with the app here at the store. So I'm not sure how long it's going to be. And I was like, oh, here we go. Because you have to have your ID to match who ordered it when you have alcohol on Uber Eats.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, for safety reasons. So.
Oh, true. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, so what am I going to do? I'm not going to push the show back. Okay, I guess I'll just step away, but maybe he'll get here before then. And I was just like, dude, and I said out loud, I said, you know what? Everything happens for a reason. So I'm not even stressed about it. So I'm just going to get real medicated. So if I don't have that wine by the time whatever, that's fine. I'm just going to get out of my mind medicated. And then while we were chit-chatting, the guy, it started to move the little car. And so when I stepped away before we started recording, I got my damn wine.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
That's why Jack and Minnie were barking, because I had told Metal Jesus, look, tell them to at least meet me at the gate that leads from the front of the house to the back. And so that's why they were upset, because they knew there was an intruder, quote unquote.
Oh, they're good. For two little yippy dogs, they're
man, they'll bite your ass real quick.
I know, that's why I'm calling them little yippy dogs. They yip at your ankles when you walk by. Arr, 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 arr.
See, they know you're talking crap and they're getting upset with you. Anyway, so cheers. I got my freaking thing. I wasn't even mad at the guy because I was like, it's not his fault. It's not the store's fault. Things happen, and I get that. So. Cheers to everyone in the Uber Eats universe. I've been there, done that, and that's a rough life.
There you go. I have a French bottle of water. Le Bleu.
Ooh la la. Ooh la la.
It was too late for me on the East Coast to crack open a bottle on a work night. So
I understand that.
But I would normally I'd be right there with you with the wine. Hell yeah, let's do it.
Well, see, for me, we're recording a little bit earlier than we normally would when we have to do it at nighttime. So I was like, dude, I have some time to get a little buzz on for sure. So there we have it.
I have more energy than I did the last time we recorded on a Thursday.
I
felt dragging ass that night. Oh my God. I don't know what it was. I mean, I know what it was. It was just a busy week, but I don't know why that night in particular, I was so tired. I rested a little bit, but it's one of those things. Even this week, I have had something every night this week. and it goes into overtime. Like even tonight, I got home. Let's see, 8 o'clock Eastern. We recording at 9:30 Eastern. Little break. Eat, shower, boom, down here recording. TMI, baby. The fun never stops.
That's why I was like, look, I'm gonna have some wine, damn it, a day early because like I said, I had a time. I'm right there with you. And it's one of those things like one of my friends slash coworkers is trying to get in touch with me about shooting our next project, right? But it's like, I don't mean it's like a bitch, but I literally don't have time to sit and talk on the phone for like 30 minutes because my life is so crazy. And I text him, I was like, look, if I stop what I'm doing right now, because I was shooting, I was like, it's gonna push me back and I'm gonna be shooting past midnight again. And I can't do this to myself. I'm so thrown off because I'm up until the wee hours working on whatever. And so then I end up sleeping in, and that messes up my entire schedule. And it's so hard to adapt to. And I have a lot of extra stress in my life, my personal life. And like, it's just a lot. And I'm just like, dude, I'm not going to be dragging ass. I'm going to treat TMI like a happy hour release. We got some cool things to talk about. So that's how I'm viewing it tonight here on TMI. So thank you
Oh
all
yeah,
for joining me.
I couldn't wait. TMI is my favorite part of the week. I mean, it's TMI. It's too much information. I can't wait to hit the alarm tonight. It's like my favorite part of the show when I have to hit the alarm. So 18 weeks of TMI. So that's we're starting to get pretty well into the run here. We're getting really like well established. We're getting into routines.
Yep.
And we're getting into the summer months now. It's gonna be really like it's gonna be picking up. We're gonna be hot and heavy. So can't
Hot and
imagine what's
heavy.
next. Hot, heavy. What's next?
1000%. 1000%. We'll see what happens. I say this every year, much like my friend George Costanza. This is really going to be the summer of Shelly. This is going to be the summer of Shelly. So we'll see what happens.
Well, good. I'm along for the ride for the first time. I can't wait. It's gonna be the I can't nothing. What rhymes with Chad? I can't think of anything that good rhymes with Chad. Summer of Shelly sounds great. Can't
Yeah,
think of
that's
anything. Nope, can't
hard.
think of anything on the spot. We got a lot to talk about tonight. I actually have something great to bring to you in a little bit that I think you're gonna really sink your teeth into. Great little
Ooh.
clip. But I'm dying to talk about. I would say the main event. We're gonna go with the main event first. I mean, this is huge. Um, I mean, it's kind of a local story for you. It's a national story for everybody else. But Spencer Pratt,
Pratt Daddy.
we remember him from, was it The Hills or was he
Yeah,
Laguna Beach? Which one was he?
he was in the hills.
He was The Hills. So Spencer Pratt, the annoying guy from The Hills, Heidi Montag's better half or lesser half, comes out of obscurity and is now running for LA mayor. But over the last 2 weeks, it has exploded with just all these different controversies. Every article that comes out is more sensational than the next. But as I'm kind of watching this as an East Coaster, and now I live in Virginia now, but I still consider myself as an East Coaster, I look at this and I'm like, man, this is nuts. Just seeing like the reaction to everything. But I thought about you because even before you sent this to me, like I thought about you being like, this is your backyard. So this is real life for you. So let's talk about Pratt Daddy here. What's
Pratt
your
Daddy.
take on this? And where do we go from here?
Pratt Daddy. So here's what's hilarious. My sister Danielle and I used to refer to him as my ex. And the reason why we called him my ex, because he is the prime example of somebody that would end up being my ex back in the day. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I've always had this on and off again. I'm cool with Spencer Pratt. I'm not cool with Spencer Pratt. vibe, right? So, okay, whatever with the Hills, okay? So, fast forward, his wife, Heidi Montag, is somebody that I followed and unfollowed many times over. And so when I was in the season of following her, I was reminded by about Pratt Daddy because that's when they were focusing on doing their crystal business.
Right.
And so they were always hustling on that. And I thought it was, here's the thing, whatever, because Spencer in particular, he comes from money, right? To me, what made me like him was even though he can like probably just sit back and do barely any the bare minimum, he is pushing hard and hustling his crystals and he's way into it. So the thing is like I could respect that. And being somebody that has always had some sort of like online little selling store, whatever, it really inspired me. The Pratts, they did, him in particular. And so then I started to follow him. And what made me like him again was douchebag or not. He is somebody who is unapologetically himself. He will tell you like it is. And he will say things that most people don't have the balls to say. And so
Right.
I gravitate to people like that, even if they're douchebags, because I respect, because that takes a lot to be that kind of a person. And that it's a bummer that whoever that person could be, in this case, Spencer, they're a douchebag. Because to me, it's like, what a waste. What a waste because you have something so powerful and like you're wasting it because your douchebaggery is like taking away from it. So where you can't shine as bright and affect as many people as your purpose is supposed to be because of your douchebaggery. So that's how I just looked at it. So Spencer, I was all about him. And then I just started to like have a shift where they started rubbing me wrong. Right. And I'm like, here we go again. I always follow one, unfollow them. So I unfollowed them. Well, during that time, that's when the fires happened.
Right.
So I remember specifically because I was like, oh my gosh, that's where Spidey lives. Let me go see if they're okay. So I go on Instagram and I remember they had like their camera in their kids' room was still working, their surveillance camera. And they were like, look, it looks like a heart being burned in their bed. And it was this whole story, right? And then from that point on, Spencer became kind of like this voice of the voiceless of the Palisades and like going on social media and being raw about it, which I appreciate, right? Showing things that other people, the media isn't showing, right? But there was just something about it and something that bothered me. And this is just my opinion. So Spidey stands and or whoever, etc., don't come for me. Go ahead and try. It's fine. I'm protected, but go ahead. But like I didn't trust that heart thing. I was like, where are we going with this? This feels like I'm being worked. So fast forward to now he's being this crusader for trying to be this mayor of Los Angeles. He has a lot of valid things to say. And he has said, like when he schooled Bass the other day on like when they had their debate, he was onto a lot of things. But what sucks is his douchebaggery comes out. Then we have the AI commercials that are out there, and he's like Batman. And it's like, are you kidding me? This is not what it's about. Here we go again. Like Spidey, Spencer, here we go. And as a person that's living here, and the thing is the homeless problem has been bad for a long time, and it continues to get worse to where I live in an area that you never used to see homeless people. Now you do. And it's just because they have nowhere else to go. So they keep going higher and higher and higher from the city. So it is a huge problem. And I actually have a very soft spot for homeless people because growing up, my family was always involved in church. And one of the things we would do is on the weekends, we would go and feed the homeless at this park, right? Donuts and coffee. So I grew up around that and understanding the other side of it. And so what I'm pissed off about is Spencer Pratt has so much potential within him to truly affect Los Angeles and make it better. But then the douchebaggery comes, and that's what's dimming the light. And when it comes down to, it's one thing when it's just Spidey and you're watching on Instagram. Then it's another thing when you're trying to be a mayor of Los Angeles, which it's all a work. I get that, by the way. But if you're gonna be in charge and you're Mr. Douchebaggery, you lead with your ego at the end of the day, where does that land all of us here? And then what really bothered me was watching when he was on TMZ and they were calling him out about being at the Beverly Hills
Right. Yeah.
Hilton and
Yeah.
like saying that he lived in this trailer. And so he was deflecting the entire time. Look at him. Look at him. And so the whole time he was deflecting, they said, "Are you living there in the trailer or not?" I don't live anywhere. My house burned. And every single time he kept saying that, I kept thinking about the post of the kid's bed and the heart. And I'm like, was this planned from the beginning? And some people could say, "Oh, look at the damage and all this." And I get that. But guess what? Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Because I
know
can't
what
have
she's
people
reaching
coming
for.
for me.
It's
So
a foil hat.
guess what? They don't care when there's an agenda. Okay, so something that made my spidey sense go off was that heart and that surveillance camera, and now we have Pratt Daddy over there being the voice of the voiceless, and then deflecting like an ex-boyfriend would when he got caught cheating. And I can't. And it's like, it sucks because, like I said, and I just saw a post earlier on my Twitter. I reposted it because it was somebody on Hollywood Boulevard, and it said that they were just trying to go to lunch with their girlfriend, and then a homeless on the street tried to pick a fight, and they showed the thing. And I was like, oh
I
my
saw
gosh.
that one. He knocked the guy out. I saw that.
I retweeted it, and I swear what tripped me out, it was like, it better not be that sushi place. And it was, because here's the thing.
Oh, wow. You knew the place.
Quite a few years back, my sister and I went there and ate, and there's seating inside, but then there's like this kind of patio area. So Hollywood Boulevard's right there. So us little broke asses, they're at happy hour, we're having sushi, and this homeless dude had a gun and he pointed it right at us. And the thing is, what was so eerie about it is he only had a few fingers on each hand, so he couldn't fire it, but it was a real gun, and he was and then no one acted like it was any big deal. I was like, oh my gosh. And we ran to the back of the restaurant and we're like, look, there's this guy. They're like, oh yeah. I was like, what? And so I've never gone back there again because of that. So
oh, that's
there we
just
are.
3-finger homeless guy with the gun. It's okay.
With the gun.
Don't worry about him. He's harmless. He's harmless. He's just got a gun.
He's harmless. So, and it sucks because, like I said, growing up and getting to know homeless people as just people, because here we are feeding the homeless their donuts and coffee, and then they would work for the church. And again, my family was always involved, so I was around these people all the time. Some of my family members let them be handyman at their house. So it's a very sensitive subject for me, and it just sucks to see Spencer. You can't trust him. He's like, what's the difference between him and Newsom? Newsom looks more menacing, but other than that, then what's the difference? And he was coming hard for Newsom as well. And the thing for me is it's deep with Spidey for me, because go ahead and hit the TMI alarm.
I'm hitting it. Here we go. Boom.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to admit something that I've never admitted or told this story. I hope the people involved do not get mad at me. I won't say names, but if people remember back in the day, they know exactly who it is. So I was such a Spidey mark that they were a blueprint to me because they did the reality show thing and then they kept themselves relevant. I related because after getting fired from WWE, I was like, okay, I have that fancy label, right? WWE, I'm kind of fresh. How can I do this? So I would study them. And one of the things that I learned was they were shamelessly having the paparazzi where they needed them. So then they would start talking about, they're like, make your paparazzi your friend. So what did I do? I made friends with TMZ. And there was a time where it was during my TNA days. You know, they weren't paying me much. It was rough. Here's the thing. There was this guy I used to go with. And kind of like, it reminds me of like people like Hugh Hefner. You'll be hanging out with them, partying with them, or whatever, and they'll have someone take pictures and then they give you the pictures afterwards. So I don't know what that is. So he gave me these pictures after I was like hanging out with him in San Francisco. And so my girlfriend was like, well, you got that connection with TMZ. Why don't you just sell them? And I was like, because he'll get mad. And she was like, he can't get mad if you don't sell them. And so I emailed them to her. She sold them to TMZ. I gave her a cut. And that was my first time on TMZ.
Okay,
And
so if I just go look that up, I could just find out who it was.
I don't know if it's easy to find. And then here's the thing. I got scared because he did get mad. And I said, I didn't send them. I don't know. And so he had a high profile relationship and they're on and off a lot. And so TMZ, the way they spend it, they were like, here he is with her at their kid's baseball game one weekend. And then in another weekend, he's in San Francisco with this girl. And I remember specifically Kara Slice, aka Cherry, of Deuce and Domino and Cherry, texting me, and she was like, "Did I just see you on TMZ?"
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm scrolling now.
It's okay. So here's the thing. Going back to Spidey, that's what I'm saying. They helped me survive and gave me tools to learn how to market myself, because there was another time Amber O'Neill was with me, my sister. TMZ hit me up. They're like, hey, it's like Halloween season. You want to do something fun? I was like, yes. So there was this bar, Cabo Cantina on Hollywood Boulevard. And we were over there and I told them to meet me there. And remember I said I always used to carry my fangs with me along with my recorder. So I had my fangs and we did a whole thing where we were walking and they were talking to me. I wish I could find that clip. That would be so cool, because you got Amber O'Neill in it, my sister, and we were just over there living the Hollywood life.
I'm telling you, that's incredible. But I got this for you about Spencer. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
How could you call somebody a douchebag when they've got this in their library?
And here's the thing. Okay, so here was where, because I'm so invested. Okay, so another thing that back in the day Spencer has talked about many times was he always wanted to be like a secret agent, or like a spy, and who's interested in joining the Illuminati. Like, he's been very open about all of this stuff. So all of these things check for what he's doing. And like I said, and here's what's crazy. Okay, I don't care if you guys out there think I'm nuts for saying this, but this is just my life and this is the tea. So about a year ago, I had this dream about Spidey. And in the dream, no, it was more than a year before, before the fires were, like maybe 6 months or so before it. I had this dream that I was on this mountaintop and there was ocean and I went in, I was hanging out with them, certain things happened, and then I had to follow them down this path. And then I followed them down this path to this office building. And then when I was trying to figure out what the office building was, they were trying to hide things from me. And so eventually Heidi realized that I was onto something and she didn't want me to find out what was going on. So she kicked me out and I was so butthurt because I was like, oh my gosh, because when we were in their home beforehand, I was like, she let me borrow this like fake fur coat and I was feeling all fancy and I was like, oh, like I'm on my way up. And so I was so sad. And then when I was walking back down the hill, I don't know why, you know that comedian Joey Garcia?
Joey Garcia.
Wait,
No, I
not
don't
Joey
know.
Garcia.
Joey Diaz.
Joey Diaz,
Yeah.
Uncle Joey. I always go by Uncle Joey,
Coco.
but so he was in the dream and he was like sitting in this like down in Universal City Walk. We used to have the John Lovett's podcast theater.
Yeah.
And it looked like that kind of. And he was sitting there and he was talking to me and he was telling me how to just use the microphone and don't worry about them. Who cares? He was like, fuck Heidi, fuck Spencer. You know, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know nothing.
Man.
And
That's
so I
great.
was like, okay. And then I woke up. So I always was like, what does that dream mean? Like, what, like, okay, what? That, especially being in that office and the paper, there's paperwork. And so then fast forward, the Palisade fires happen. And so that was on my radar. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. What if there's something tied there? And so then I kind of forgot about the dream. I stopped obsessing over it. And then when the Spencer stuff started happening, it triggered it. And so if you go on my timeline, you'll see I retweeted Uncle Joey the other day because that was the moment I was like, oh, that dream.
Oh, okay. See, it all comes together now. You know, at first it sounded like the plot to like a Cinemax film when you were talking about that, and I was like getting intrigued, being like, I feel like I've seen this one.
No, you nerd.
You were following her down the hallway into the office building. Like, I feel like I've seen this one before.
No, man. It was real deep and it's bothered me for so long. And like I said, I kind of forgot about it now for a while, but it bothered me for so freaking long because I was like, what is this means something? Like, what's in my psyche? Is there something there? And so what tripped me out and the reason why I retweeted Uncle Joey was because when we're in that podcast theater.
Right.
And when I was having this moment, I was sitting over here in the Batcave. And then after that, that's when I text you. I want to talk about the Spencer thing because I realized I understand what he was talking about over there. Because I was holding the microphone. He was like, use your microphone. And it made me think of TMI. And I was like, oh my gosh, if not for nothing, I feel I'm on the right path. And I felt inspired. And that's when I was like, that's why I text you. And I was like, I want to talk about this stuff. Because I had that like kind of alignment moment. F and TMI, bitches.
I mean, look at that. Good thing it wasn't Uncle Joey from Full House. Cut
No.
it out, you know. Good thing it wasn't him.
Out.
Good thing you had. It's a dream. It could have gone either way, you know. It could have gone from Joey Diaz to Dave Coulier.
No, because here's the thing: what you're going to learn about me, you and our viewers and listeners. My dreams come true and they have meaning and people trip out. And I don't always talk about them publicly because that's not how I am.
I got you.
But I'm telling you, I have vouchers. There's people that, and I say this not to like name drop, but just to be like success. Like there's some of your favorite WWE superstars have come to me many a times and said, have you had any dreams about me, Shelly? Or I had this dream. What do you think it means? So I'm just saying that's why it was really cool to have Lori Lowenberg on Vampire Effing Radio. So if you guys didn't go check that interview out, not for nothing, check it out because, and then not only that, but Lori Lowenberg, if you look her up, the Dream Expert, I was on her YouTube channel like a couple years ago. If you're into dreams or you have dreams, it's worth looking into because she is like awesome and opened up my mind. And that's why that dream about Spidey and Joey haunted me because I was like, what does this mean? What does this mean? And I swear to goodness, if something weird comes out, it has to do with some sort of weird paperwork on Spencer. I said it here first on TMI because I dreamt it like a few years ago. Okay. Just saying. If some weird paperwork comes out, people, just saying.
It's true. You did say it here first. I mean, you know, Uncle Jesse wasn't there though, so we couldn't verify certain aspects of
Joey
it.
Diaz. I don't know why I said Garcia. Joey Diaz.
Has Vince McMahon come to you at all for dream advice? You know, or to say, have you dreamt about me lately?
V has not. V has not. I've had dreams about him though. I've had dreams about him.
Oh, yeah, Shelly. Have you dreamt about me lately, Shelly?
Well, yes, I have, Mr. McMahon. See, Vince, you slept on me. Here's the thing, V. You told me in that hallway, we've never had anyone like you before. You're doing a great job. So is it just because I wasn't banging you? Okay, I get it.
Probably if there was
but not everybody was.
If there's a tier top reason why, probably be like a.
But not everybody
1.
was, because I wasn't trying to be like when I say do more, I was like I've talked about here many times, very happy and satisfied with Kevin and I were doing. I'm talking about outside things. I wanted to help. I wanted to be one of those people to like promote outside the business to like I'm a WWE superstar. Like I wanted to be a spokesperson for this and that and the other. Like when I had that conversation with him, I can't remember if I talked about it in here or not in the early episodes. I was pitching to him and I wanted to be in Playboy. I was like, yes. I just want to be in Playboy, blah, blah, blah.
Kind of commented a little bit on it, but continue.
So what had happened is I really was like, okay, I really want to be in Playboy because it was of that era. And it was like Girls Next Door was really hot. I was a huge fan, And so I was like, dude, I want to be part of that. And so I pitched to him. I was like, what if I do, because at the time, that's when I had the Betty Page bangs. I was like, I would love to do a spread in Playboy, but like as Betty Page and play this homage to Betty Page, but have the vampire fangs and like put over like my character here in the company. And he was just like listening to me and he was listening. And I was like, I think it'd be awesome and blah, blah, blah. And then that's when he said, you know what? We've never had anyone like you before. You're doing a great job. I'll think about it. And then he walked away. So that would have been, it wasn't meant, but imagine a Betty Page.
That would have been pretty good. That
spread, but with fangs. That's the gimmick because I'm the vampire and it could have been like a Halloween issue, right? And it could have been so cute. Like maybe even like one of her most iconic things. And Hugh Hefner was a huge fan of hers. And like he's the one that helped her realize that people were making money off of her name and to like take a hold of that and so she can start making some money in her elderly years. So I give him props for that, the bastard. But he like was a fan, so I thought it was perfect. It was perfect way to blend the two worlds because they were familiar with each other. It was a cool way for me to just kind of get that off my bucket list. And I thought visually, how awesome would it have been to have? And so when nothing came of it, that's when I was like, I'm growing my bangs out.
I mean, listen,
I'm growing my bangs out.
And then he turned and he said, it would be great. Candice Michelle. Let's get Candice Michelle in there.
And that's fine.
In 2006. Let's do it.
That's fine. That's fine because she's gorgeous and she was on a different tier than me. But that would have been awesome. Tell us in the comments. Come on. That would have been awesome. Me, Shelly Page with the fangs, Ariel Page.
Would have been good. Would have been good. Not going to lie. Would have been not bad. Not bad at all. Not too shabby. Just with Spencer and wrestling, right? Would you see through? I mean, I thought at first, I knew he had put out a book. So I thought at first this was a publicity stunt to promote his book when I first heard about his interest in running for mayor. But then again, then I watched a couple of his interviews and I saw some of the things he was running on. And again, like from outsider point of view, what he's saying doesn't sound bad. Clean up homelessness, clean up the excrement that's in certain places, clean up drugs, clean up this and that. That's the stuff that you want to hear for your community. But can you like can you see through the work perhaps of a guy who claims to be reality TV's greatest villain? So that's where somebody like you, again, like it's in your backyard, you have to make a conscious decision to vote for somebody. Can you see through just the fact that you've been in a business where the whole point of it is to lie to the people of what you're doing inside of the ring? So what do you see through it from a worker's point of view?
1000%. Remember last week when you were like, can you tell when someone blah, blah, blah? And I was like, yes, like immediately. So that's why with Spencer and Heidi, right? So I've been following and unfollowing them for years. Why? Because they sell me their lemonade for a little bit and I drink it. And then I realize, oh yeah, I see through it. And then I get mad. But then I feel like maybe I'm a bitch and I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Especially when like I want to be on Spencer's side on this dude. Cause the things like one of the things like, Karen Bass was like saying, she wants to get the homeless home into like, housing and help them with their dental, which in a perfect world, Chad, that is amazing. But what he said was true. He said they don't care about, I forget what exactly he said, but pretty much being housed and taken care of and cleaned up. They're waiting to know when they care about their next fentanyl. And that's the fact. Like the homeless people, there's like a Karen Bass. What she says is like so like TV, like when I say TV, I mean like something you watch for entertainment, like perfect. Because out here, when you tell the homeless, hey, you can go over here, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to take the housing.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. A lot of these homeless
here we go.
have had weird situations, whether they've been vets or whatever, maybe different situations with the police where the police perhaps have taken liberties. There's all kinds of shadiness that goes on. So when you have someone that's homeless, right, and they can't trust the government because the government has not made them feel safe when they thought they should, they're not going to take the housing. Because in their mind, they're thinking, you're going to try to lock me up in there and experiment on me, or you're going to sell my body off, or like traffic me. Like it's a whole thing, whether that's really happening or not. Because look, I got my tinfoil hat on.
Got the hat.
Don't come
folks.
for me.
The hat is there. The hat is there.
Okay. I'm just saying the things out here in the wild, wild west in California over here, SoCal. He's so right. Pratt Daddy is about saying they aren't that's why they keep having housings and they keep building housing and there's hardly anyone there. It's not people lined up to get these housings because everyone has a different story. Everyone has a different reason why they won't accept it. And a lot of these people are so far gone off the drugs and the drugs have fried them to their walking zombies. They don't care about taking a shower. It's not a priority. They don't care about sleeping and feeling safe in a bed because now at this point, what feels safe is being fucked up and numbed and out of their mind because they need to be on drugs, high as a effing kite because they cannot deal with reality. And if they've been out on the streets for years and years and years, that is what their brain now operates on, that level. So when you say, oh, we got dental for you because you can get jobs when you have teeth. No, bitch. That's not the case. So that's why I want to be on Spencer's side because he is saying shit that matters. He is saying the truth, and that is the problem. So what do we do? But instead of him giving us the plan of what he wants to do, he's putting out AI. You know what, Spencer? You know how it is. You went to to school for film, and you were doing your whole thing with Brody back in the day. You should be hiring and employing people, your crew, the actors, and all that, and making jobs instead of AI. You should know better. So, anyways, instead of telling us what
You want to watch this one?
let's watch. Oh my gosh, here we effing go. Here, hold on. Let me pour someone more of this Lodi, not sponsored in. One of my top 5 faves, Lodi.
So yeah, this is one of the AI ads. I've not watched this, so this could be a dud or it could be absolutely mind-boggling.
I haven't watched it either because I won't, but we'll do it for the show.
All right, here we go.
Daddy!
You were in a coma. 3 years.
MacArthur Park, right? Where are all the needles and homeless people?
The mayor fixed it.
Wait, isn't this downtown? Where are all the tents? The piss and the shit and the criminal drug addicts?
The mayor fixed it.
They rebuilt the Palisades? How?
The mayor fixed it.
Wow. Karen Bass really turned the city around.
Karen Bass isn't the mayor anymore, honey.
Who's the mayor?
Spencer Pratt.
I am
so bad.
effing pissed right now. Okay, first of all,
Oh, that was
you
so
had
bad.
the mom. Okay, the mom, the dad, and the 2 kids. You're telling me, Spencer, you couldn't put a budget to pay all of those actors $150 for the day, pay a independent crew, hell, shoot it yourself to keep the cost down. But some billionaire gave you some monies, so you could have hired an indie crew, employed maybe some people give back. You could have employed those actors. Okay, the car accident and all that. Okay, you can use AI. Okay, that's fine. The needles and all that. Okay, that's fine. But the actors, you could have employed people, which helps the business, brother. Okay, but instead AI. Cool. And then why does it got to be like, where's all the shit and piss? Why does it got to be? Are we idiocracy? Are we living in idiocracies over here, Spencer? Is it idiocracies? Because I thought you were trying to talk about something serious. You want people to not talk about, oh, you're just this reality star. Da, da, da. How about you show us that you're serious and you're not just some reality star? You're not just some reality star, and that you are trying to help things here, because everything in there hits. You know why? Because Metal Jesus, you don't know who that is, but everyone that's watching does, Spencer, because I'm going to make sure you see this. He recently had an accident where I was in an ER recently, and I know how that feeling is. So you're pulling at the heartstrings. I get it. Use real actors. Use real actors that are going to make people, whatever. And so you could almost pull at my heartstrings, but then I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is AI BS. And then when the dad's like, there's no piss and shit. Now I'm like,
there's no piss and shit.
Like, awesome. You just really made me want to click away. But okay, cool, whatever. Point is, Spencer, you know better than to use AI for your whole effing shit. And I know you don't give a F who I am or what I'm talking about, but this is why you don't get taken serious. I used to respect you, and I respected what you have given me, but watching that one, I don't even want to see the Batman one. Gag me with the effing spoon.
Oh, I haven't found that yet.
Spencer, you have light in you that you could affect effing Los Angeles in a positive way. But instead of showing us how you're going to do it, you're making AI ads of propaganda. I get it. You're part of them. Tinfoil hat, don't come for me. I get it. But it's such a shame that you literally, and I know you know this, but your douchebaggery is why God won't give you the abundance that you have the potential to fucking have. Spencer Pratt, Heidi Montag, Spidey.
Could you give me the address of this park?
Here's the thing, though. Can I tell you something, Chadster? Let me tell you. Not that many needles, but that's reality in a lot of parts of Los Angeles. And so that's what I'm seeing, especially because Spidey has kids, right? So they're probably more aware of it because they see the playgrounds and the parks. I take my dogs to parks and stuff like that, so I see it too. This is a problem. It's a little exaggerated here, but this is, and then I know this is nothing new to some places. Like, I'm sure New York has issues like this. I'm sure Philly has issues. I'm sure every town has, like wherever. But the spectacle and the just exploiting. It's exploiting at this point. And I've talked about on here, and I got to put over my friend Ralph Garman. I was very pleased to see that he was like, he made a tweet out saying something like, oh, what else do you expect from a grifter or whatever? And here's the other thing. Oh my gosh, Chadster. So the thing that pisses me off about this too is what triggered me, and this is one of the times I unfollowed Spidey, was I think it was during the lockdown. And so he was like king TikTok and doing the TikTok challenges. I don't really even now mess with TikTok. I haven't even updated mine in a long ass time. Like, I didn't know that when you do these challenges, it's like who's making the most money. And so when I realized that you're literally asking your fans, come on, keep making the money. I got to beat this person. I don't like that. I think it's cheap.
Yeah, those are weird. I agree with you. I'm not a fan of that at all.
Like, and this is why I'm normally, it says I'm a failed OnlyFans model. I failed because I don't like asking people for tips. Like, if you're going to tip, you tip. Like, I'm not going to say, hey, where's my tip?
Excuse me, you are a former Uber Eats delivery girl.
Because of my story at the beginning with the vino.
That's right. That's right. But also failed OnlyFans, correct.
Yes.
I don't get that though with the tips. Like, I don't understand what's the point of that. If you're there for the service, what's with the tip?
I'm uncomfortable with it. Some people aren't. So when I saw that Spencer Pratt was having these like gnarly challenges like all the time, that became his like job for a while, I was like, oh, so you're asking your audience and kind of guilting them to send you money. Like, I'm a hot girl online and I don't even do that shit. So you're a grown ass man. And then here's the thing. I guess if it's like you have no other way to make money, what are you going to do? Okay. But come on, bro. You're going to tell me that he had to. He couldn't maybe scale back a little bit. He had to go on TikTok and beg for money, beg for his fans, so he doesn't lose to this other person. And from what I understand, it's like, okay, two people are going. Let's say Spencer ends up getting $5,000 in that challenge, and this person got like $3,000. That's fans' money. For you to beat the other.
It's the stupidest thing in history I've ever heard of. But the people giving them the money are just as dumb and simpletons that they think that they're being.
But I think some of them they ride so hard on their fanship that they think they're doing they're not realizing what. I don't care if they're dumb about it or whatever you said. It's not cool. It's not cool. It's manipulation. And so fast forward.
Yeah, but it's stupid.
But fast forward.
Stupid. That's why you're getting manipulated.
This campaign. And here's the thing. I don't care, bitches. Come for me. This is why I don't vote. Because I don't trust. And if some people can say you can't bitch if you don't vote, fine. I'm not bitching, I'm giving an opinion. The reason why I don't vote is because Karen Bass is full of shit. Spencer Pratt is full of shit. Whoever else is running, I'm not even seeing your shit. So it's like, I'm screwed because at the end of the day, no matter how much of a work it is from the inside, as a Los Angeles resident, I am affected by what happens moving forward. Whether it's a work or not, I am affected as an Angelino. So this, when people are watching it and they're like, what's this spectacle that SoCal and Hollywood's up to over here with freaking Pratt Daddy and this and that? It's like, yeah, on paper, that's what it looks like, another tabloid. But when you're an Angelino and you have watched for years and years and years the problem, not just homeless, the overall problems we have here, we're screwed. And that's why there's movies like, remember, Tinfoil Hat. What is that one with Kurt Russell, Escape from New York?
Yeah, Escape from LA.
LA. There's that, and there's other movies. Terminator 2. Where are they at? Like, this is where
Encino
shit
Man.
goes.
That's why he buried himself.
Yes, dude. I just watched Encino Man, by the way. I just watched Encino Man. So good movie, man. It's solid. But anyways, it's like, it's all fun and games and tickle, right, in the media. When you're an Angelino, it's like, but guess what? Like, who's going to be making these decisions and what's going to happen? Is there going to be a change? And as an Angelino, I've given up, and that's why I don't vote, because I'm like, I've given up on all of you because of, I have seen it just get worse and worse and worse and worse. And so I have literally given up.
Yeah, politically, look, I mean, I don't know where, like, how deep he's gonna like go, or what his team looks like, or anything like that. But I mean, again, the name of the book is The Guy You Love to Hate: Confessions from a Reality TV Villain, right? Again, I thought it was a publicity stunt. But I don't know if the team that he's going to surround him with and his cabinet is going to be solid. And somebody who has a successful mayoral campaign could then lead to bigger, roads to later down the road for offices that he may run for. You never know. It could be the greatest thing that ever happened to LA, but it's just on the surface. It just looks like a giant publicity stunt shit show. And, just some of the things I've seen things that I'm like, oh, wow, that's intriguing to me. I would be swayed to vote for something like that. But then, like, I'm kind of like where you're at with it turns me off overall. Like, they're both bad. It's bad versus badder. It's non-gooder versus worser. So I just don't see where to go with any of that.
Exactly. And that's why it's like, you give up, and it's like, and so, oh gosh, is this the Batman one?
No. What about, I just have to play this line again.
Where are all the tents? The piss and the shit and the criminal.
And that's the truth. Here's the thing that
sucks.
sucks.
To play that again.
Here's the thing that sucks. Okay, because here's the thing. Okay.
The piss, the shit.
I feel so sorry for tourists when they come to Hollywood because they've seen the movies and they're like, oh, and then they come to Hollywood Boulevard where the stars are and the handprints of the Chinese theater. You're gonna get that's where that sushi place is, where the guy
got knocked out. You got the gun pulled on you.
Yes, it's like within like less than 5 minutes from where Grauman's Chinese Theater is, where all the famous handprints and the footprints are. Like, and it's nothing new. And you know what? I was watching Pretty Woman over the weekend. They even depict Hollywood Boulevard like that. It's nothing new. It's been shit for a long time. But it's one of those things that it became kind of cool, like, oh, you just gotta kind of watch your back. But then it turned and it's like, you might get murdered, bitch. You better watch out. It changed. And I feel so sorry for people that come and they spend their hard-earned money they save, like the Griswolds, and they come down here and it's just like crap. It's not like the movies. And it hasn't been like the movies for a long, long time. And you know what's interesting, going back to a lot of my, like, let's be real, I already have trust issues in life, period. It's one of my traumas. But with the Spencer thing, it lies deep because when all the fires were going on in the Palisades, then there was a fire in this area. There's a famous hiking area called Runyon Canyon. If you want to see celebrities and go hiking, you go to Runyon Canyon. And by Runyon Canyon is this historical place called the Magic Castle. And the Magic Castle is a place where it's like, are you familiar with the show Arrested Development?
I never watched it, but obviously I know
okay.
the show.
It's famous. It's been there forever. It's an exclusive spot. You have to be like a member to get there, but there's like magicians there. It's like a whole magic, but like on a whole other level kind of thing. It's a whole like cool secret, but like famous at the same time thing. Well, I remember they were like, oh, now Runyon Canyon's on fire, and they showed this picture, and then they showed a picture of the Hollywood sign, and they're like, the Hollywood sign's getting down. And I live not too far from the Hollywood sign. There was no smoke at the Hollywood sign. There was no fire at the Hollywood sign. And then I shortly after went to the Magic Castle area because I had to go there, and that's part of town. And I was like, oh my gosh, let me go see the damage. There was nothing. But on the media, it was all flames. And then on the media, there was things going around that the Hollywood sign was about to get burned down when it was in real time.
I remember hearing that.
None of that was true. It was all AI. And so now that Spencer's using AI and then showing the Hollywood sign flaming up, like the propaganda that was running around on social media and media, period, when it was not true. Because I went outside and I know I could see smoke from the Hollywood sign from where I live. So I went out and looked. There was no smoke. I drove over there. There was nothing. There was nothing wrong with the Hollywood sign. Zero. And what's funny, talking about the Hollywood sign, it's very dear to me. It's very connected to me. And I was just at the Hollywood sign yesterday. So it's so crazy that that opening shot that you just showed.
Yeah.
That I had no idea that was like going to be in it. And it tripped me out because the person I was with, it was the first time of them seeing the Hollywood sign. I go, look, there's the Hollywood sign. And then I said, do you know what that spells out? And they said, go home. It says go home. I said, oh, I believe you. Let's go home then. And we left.
That's great. Well, it was on fire in AI form because of this guy. Mr. Creativity, right? Oh, gee, that's scary.
Spencer, get your shit together, bro. Look, Spencer, you don't care. I know. But I got the load eyes in. You know what it is, brother. You know wine. Look, brother, come to the light. Can you please help? Just, I know you're a part of it. You're in too deep. Oh, hold on.
Oh, my gosh. You might as well just have this thing stapled to your freaking head.
I know you're in deep. Blah, 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 blah. Here's the thing. But can you please use it for good? Please. If you're going to put yourself as Batman out there, do good. Please.
We're like juggling something funny, like 3 fat ladies or something like that. Something that'll make us laugh.
No, dude, you don't understand. I live here.
Maybe a Hills reunion. What do you think?
Dude, I was all about that reboot. I'll tell you that. I was all about that reboot, brother. I was like, let's see. And then here's the thing. On the reboot, they went, one of the cast members had a date at this place called Yamashiro. Where was I on Sunday? Yamashiro. And I thought about it. I was like, oh, with a reboot. The reboot was here.
I'll be honest with you. I was I'm very surprised. He's a year younger than me. He looks not so great for
Here's the thing, Chad.
for 43.
I was thinking, if you look at him from like before he just like this transformation to mayor freaking Pratt Daddy, I feel this has aged him. The running for mayor thing.
Oh yeah, it has to. Absolutely. The stress
But like
of
it
that.
almost seems overnight.
Oh,
It's
so
like
he's
whoa.
42. August 14th, 1983. So he's 42. So I'm a 1 month, 1 year older than him. I don't look like I think he looks terrible right now.
And that's the thing. I feel like it's in a short span of time. It's not like it like, oh, over time. It's like, no, in a short span of time, I feel like he's aged like 20 years.
Yeah, no, he's got like old man look to him, like the weird comb over
And it's
thing
sad
going
he's a
on in
cute
the front.
guy. He's a cute guy.
I mean,
It's
how do you
sad.
go from this to like the comb over guy that he is now? How do
Look,
you do that?
Hey, if he has to comb over, that's fine because you never know. You can't help your hairline. You can't help it.
Look.
You
All
can't.
right, look, here's we got this. That to here, I'll show you this one. This is what we got now. Hang on. That to that. Look at that
I
one.
know. It's crazy. And then Heidi, she looks. Remember the Simpsons thing? Look at Heidi.
Oh, cover the face.
Heidi, she's not happy. She's not. Oh,
I mean,
boy.
under the 75 tons of makeup she's wearing in this picture. Good Lord, look at that. That's insane. That looks like that's a fake head that she's wearing.
I know. Look,
that looks like a wig and a fake head.
That's not the Spidey I know and love. That's not the Spidey that inspired me. That's not the Spidey that made me realize if I made friends with TMZ, I can make myself a little bit relevant for a little bit longer. That is not my teachers in social media. No, that's not them. They're not happy. Look at both of them. Oh, they look a little unhappy there too, though. But they still look cuter.
But they're probably blitzed out of their brains in this picture. That's why. They probably had a good time in the limo ride over. That's why.
They probably did. And good for them. Look, I just know that one of my bad qualities according to me is I just doubt my gut, and I'm trying to really embrace in this like midlife crisis I'm having is trust my gut until otherwise proven, because I'm fine saying I'm wrong. I'm fine being like, oh, I was wrong about that person, but I can't tell you a time where I was like, I was wrong about that person.
You're not like Fonzie. You can't say I was
so like I get that dream. I'm telling you guys, TMI viewers and listeners, if there's some kind of weird paperwork that comes out, I said it here first.
The other party, so it's Karen Bass, Spencer Pratt, and Nithya Raman. Does that sound familiar?
No, dude. Pull her up.
She's the third party in this tab.
See, as an Angelino, why do I not know about her? This is the first time I've ever seen this gal.
Yeah, that she, and I mean 19%.
What's with the Bass picture?
I think that might be Fox News manipulating the audience a little bit. She looks like crazy old lady with no teeth.
She looks like the grandma from the show Dinosaurs.
Oh yes, she does.
The grandma, dude. The grandma.
Oh my God, that's right. Wow.
Oh my gosh, I never trust Bass, dude. I don't trust any of them. Look at Nithya Raman. She's 19%. Oh, you know what? But Pratt Daddy only has 22. So
Listen,
she's not too far behind.
if she gets the ramen vote, then she's aces. People who love ramen might vote for her.
Oh, I love a good ramen.
I don't. Ramen is gross.
I love a good ramen. I love cup of noodles, but because it has so much crap in it, I can't eat it. So I haven't eaten it in many,
Yeah,
many,
it's
many
it's
years.
terrible for you.
But oh man, right now my mouth just watered thinking of a cup of noodle. Oh, you see how yummy.
Wow. Well, we'll obviously follow this and see where it goes. What
I'm so
happens?
upset, dude, but you don't understand. It's entertainment for everyone watching. It's entertainment for you. I live here, dude. These people, I'm living. What is he? Did you see the movie Idiocracies?
No, I have
Oh,
not.
okay.
I've
You
heard
should
of
check
it
it out.
many times, but I've never seen the full
You should check
movie.
it out. It's a good movie. Like if you have like a Saturday and just kicking it, whatever. Bottom line is Terry Crews is in it and he's the President Camacho. And it's a very
Yeah.
pro wrestler kind of vibe. And it's like, what is Spencer going to be
This
the President
isn't
Camacho of LA?
right. Isn't this the one where what's his name? Luke Wilson is like the smartest man in the world, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen clips of it. I've wanted to see the whole movie. And like he's really not that smart, but everybody else is so stupid in the
He's
future.
average. Yeah. Here's
Yeah.
the thing. I brought up this movie when we're talking crap about Rick Bassman because I was saying that he got
Yes,
me the
yes, yes.
audition for that one. It's a good movie though. I wish. Look, Sarah Rue got the part that I was up for, and she deserved it because she's a way like more established actress than I ever was, and she's really really good. But like that film, and I wish people saw the full script because there's so much they cut out that like now fast forward in 2026 we are exactly where they
That's a good
said.
point. That is a real
And
good
that's
point.
why, and when we watched the thing with Pratt Daddy's propaganda film,
Yeah.
when he was like piss and shit, it made me think of idiot. Like I said earlier, idiocracies. I say, oh shit, he's Camacho. He's President Camacho. He's going to win. Watch, Pratt Daddy's gonna win, guys. He's gonna win, and it's gonna be idiocracies, and he's gonna be Camacho, especially because when Terry Crews's character was President Camacho, like I said, very pro wrestling, very brother, kind of like Hulk Hogan-esque, egotistical, just like yeah, and that's Spencer Pratt.
Hulk Hogan's not egotistical.
Not at all.
What are you laughing at?
Okay.
What are we laughing at? What? What?
I'm not going to talk ill of the dead.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Boo. I'm booing
Sorry.
you.
You can go ahead and boo me. You can go
Booing
ahead and boo
you.
me. But remember the last show we had and you said, "Can you tell?" And I said, "Yes." I've been around the man.
I know.
I can tell.
I know.
Sorry.
Yeah, but he's the Hulkster.
I know. And then here's the thing. Being a person from California, using like dude is very much a part of my vocabulary. It just comes out like, sometimes if it's not a guy I'm talking to, if someone's a little not familiar or stuffy about it, they'll be like, "I'm not a dude." That's just how I talk. I'm California. So Hulkster, he butchered dude because he would use it in a weird way. He'd be like, "You know what I'm saying, dude?" And it's like, no, that's not how you say it, dude. See how I said it? That's not how you say it, dude. It's just, it's like, it's part of the sentence. There's no comma. There's no semicolon. There's no period. There's no ... But
he slammed Andre the Giant.
He did. Look, Hulk Hogan did so much for the business, and I will never dispute that. Zero. I will never dispute that Hulk Hogan did so much for the business. But behind the scenes, He wasn't always the nicest guy. He wasn't always the nicest dude. So
he wasn't always a brother to the brothers.
his carny, very carny. Carny at its
Yeah,
finest, I guess.
Yeah, he's protecting his spot. That's the Hulkster.
And that's the thing. I understand that, but what I respect is when you keep your spot and you don't screw other people over.
I get that.
You know how to market yourself in a way where you're going to have your ebbs and flows, but to keep you in that status, you understand it's like a certain way. And that's why it goes back to the egotistical comment, because Hulk Hogan could have even been more like Spidey.
Right.
He could have been more if he let his ego go, but he couldn't, because his ego was what he operated on. And Hulk Hogan could have even been, and I know some people could say, but no, he could have been even bigger and he could have reached even more, but his douchebaggery held him back, just like Spencer.
Interesting. If I could have a say in it, I think they should make a documentary about him, and they should make a full court press on his entire character and see if they could break it down. Maybe 4 parts would be good. Netflix should do it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think they should.
I think that would be solid, and they could just pick the guy apart.
I think they can make a lot of money off of it.
You know what the sad part is, though? I guess apparently the climax of the movie or the film or the documentary is they were going to interview him one last time and he died. Like they had it all set up to interview him and he died. Like, that's sad. That doesn't matter who it is.
Sad. That's sad.
Here's
the thing.
Like, it's about him. He's involved and then he dies before it could be finished.
It is really sad. And I want to say this. Even though I dislike Hogan, he's still a person. And part of my problem with Hogan is seeing him through the lens of not the Hulkster, but the person. And I know it bursts some people's bubble, and that's why I try not to throw it out there too much, and I try not to bring it up. But I wish somebody would dig deep without any kind of agenda except the truth. And I know that'll never happen, because I feel like even though there's parts of him I don't like, and that's why I dislike him, there's a reason why he's that way. You know what I'm saying? And for me, being within the business, there's a lot of people that kind of fit that bill. And then if the documentary or whatever the series was could have went that route, that would have done the business better, because I think a lot of people within the business need that. But instead it's just be like Hogan.
Instead the documentary was and then he beat Andre the Giant, and then he beat the Ultimate Warrior.
Everything we know.
Sergeant Slaughter. He lost to the Ultimate Warrior. Then he beat Sergeant Slaughter, and then he went to WCW, and then it's the NWO, and then he had some bad times, and then he had good times again, and then he had bad times again. It's all the stuff that was already out there. I get what you're saying. I get it. If there was a more maybe worker centric take in the documentary, rather than these lame-o talking heads and maybe people that kind of knew him but really didn't know him. And again, it's hard to separate. You can't have a 35-year-old guy who watched Hulk Hogan on TV as a fan come and be a talking head on a documentary about Hulk Hogan. Gonna be kind of swayed a little bit to possibly just say good stuff. You know what I want to hear? People from inside the business,
absolutely,
like what you're saying.
I want to hear the people that say, you know what's up, Terry, actually one day was like, I'm tired of being the Hulkster and having to have this persona that I always have to constantly put up. Those are the stories I want to hear, because I feel like maybe one only person knows that him.
Oh, there's stories out there like that. They just aren't really told.
That's what I'm saying.
Eric Bischoff's got a great story about trying to convince him to turn heel the first time and getting thrown out of his house because he was so offended by it and saying how you have to walk a mile in my red and yellow boots to know what it's like to be Hulk Hogan, because he was so deep inside of who Hulk Hogan was and not Terry Bollea anymore. It was 100% Hulk Hogan all the time. But I think that's what one of the episodes of the documentary was called, like Terry to Hulk, or Hulk to, like, something like that, where they essentially, there was a line blurred between who was who.
I feel, I could be wrong, but I feel he morphed. You know how they talk about clones? A lot of times let's keep it on. There's clones out there, but I feel like that people don't realize there's different types of clones. And another kind of clone is not like you were made in a little thing. Like you literally, like with the Hulk Hogan, morph into, you are now this person.
Yeah.
And I feel that's why I made that egotistical remark earlier that made you upset, was because
I got over it.
By the time I was around him, that blurred line is such a far distant thing that he's already like that person, in my opinion. And so going back to Spencer and going back to a question you asked me a long ass time ago. Yeah, dude, because I'm in the business and I see these people, like there can be people like, oh, how dare Shelly say this shit about Hogan? You're not in the business. I've been backstage with him. I've had interactions personally with him when there was no meet and greet, brother, sister. I have been in his habitat. So I see this stuff, and that's why it annoys me. Going back to Spencer, is I've been around Hulk Hogan and I was like, you are bullshit. And it's sad because you're Hulk Hogan.
Right.
You're Hulk Hogan, bitch. You are Hulk Hogan. And you are bullshit. This is like one of the biggest upsets ever. You are bullshit.
Can I take you from Hogan to Bret Hart?
Yes.
All right, let me play you this clip of Bret Hart. I found this clip, figured it would be up your alley. It's Bret Hart on wrestlers being told to stop smoking weed. Have you ever seen this?
No.
I'm assuming it's from a documentary. It was from when the WWF was being told wrestlers can't smoke weed anymore.
Suddenly it became, I remember they came in and told the wrestlers that they wouldn't be smoking, no more smoking weed. And I remember thinking, that is a big mistake. Everything else is a good idea, but it's not a good idea to tell these wrestlers to quit smoking weed. Because all these wrestlers that smoke weed, they go to their room, they smoke marijuana, they go to bed. They don't bother anybody. It's like a therapy. It's good for them. It keeps them out of trouble. And I remember sort of going like, I remember saying to somebody, I said, you watch in a few months from now, you're going to see that cuddling out, drug testing them for marijuana is going to force these wrestlers to start drinking heavy amounts of alcohol and start taking pills because they can take pills. I'm not kidding. Within a year or two of that, you see wrestlers dropping dead left and right, and it's been going on ever since.
So there you go, from Hogan to Bret. Does Bret make sense to you when you hear a guy from his position?
1,000,000%. Okay, so Are you aware of what he's talking about? Is this was this like when they sorry, I got a little tipsy on that.
This is when they instituted a drug testing policy for everything.
This was after my time, right?
This was before. This was in the
before.
90s.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see. Okay, now it's connecting dots. Okay, because there was a time in my time where I remember because after the Eddie Guerrero passing, and then or no, was it Eddie Guerrero or was it? No, it had to have been. Yeah, it had to have been Eddie Guerrero. After Eddie Guerrero passed away, not that he had anything to do with drugs. I'm not saying that. I just remember because I was in OVW at the time. I think. What was the year on that?
Eddie Guerrero passed away in 2005.
Something happened to where WWE got strict about, in my time, being on the road, about drug testing. But they said that marijuana was okay. And so then I remember after my time hearing that they took that away. And exactly what Bret Hart just said is how I felt. Because I know how that is. There's been times in my life where alcohol was just easier to get than cannabis. So that's what I relied on. And I've gotten into some troubles. I've gotten into some bad times with that. So everything he just said, I resonate with because I literally have experienced that. It's interesting because just a little like kind of locker room talk, not a big deal. When they said that cannabis was allowed, I remember RVD made some kind of sarcastic comment, just like funny, and everyone laughed. And Johnny Ace kicked him out of the meeting. He was like, "You're being disrespectful. You need to leave right now." He was like, "Are you serious?" He was like, "Yeah." And he was like, but I'll say this. Rob did say before he left the room, "I apologize. I didn't mean to disrupt." And he walked out. Just a little kind of, like I said, backstage locker room little story. But I remember because that was my early years that was the beginning stage of me using cannabis when that meeting happened. So when I found out that talent literally either swapped it out for alcohol, which mostly they did, or they had to have a little savings account for the fee that they would give you, because at the time it wasn't right after me, it wasn't a like suspension or anything like that. It was you get fined. So the hardcores, they were like, "Oh, I just have a little savings account in case I get busted, and that's what I take it out of." But most people, that was like a very small percentage. Most people, I'll just booze more. And I get it. And it sucks because even though I'm over here enjoying my Lodi wine, too much is too much. And it takes that toll on the body, man.
Right.
And cannabis is a plant. And in my opinion, the worst part of it is when you have to use fire to ignite it, to use it. If you're having an edible or a tincture or you're using a vaporizer, no problem. But it's the butane in the lighter. But other than that, like, it's medicine. So everything he said, dude, it just like totally resonates. And it took me back to that time of being like, why are you taking away cannabis off of the table? Now people, and then here's the thing, alcohol is the number one replacement. And then some people, I'll just do pills then. I'll just do pills.
Right.
And that's worse. That's worse, in my opinion, in some cases.
Yeah, if he's talking about the 90s, he's talking about, I think maybe 95, perhaps. And then a couple years later, then you get like the death of Louis Spicoli is one of the big ones, where Louis Piccoli just, I mean, the exploits were outrageous, and he died while under contract at WCW. He wasn't with WWF; he was WCW. But you saw a couple of the other deaths during that late part of the '90s, where maybe, possibly, but Brett could be onto something. But they were so strict about the policies they were bringing in at that point because they were under fire by the federal government. So they were just like testing everybody for everything, and everything's banned. So,
And here's the thing. Some people can be like, oh, then why do you have to have anything? And I get that, whatever. Everyone has their own story. However, you throw on top of it, you're this like wrestling superstar. And what comes with that, because it's not just like a mind F, your body, dude, your body, and what you put your body through, and then the gruelingness, and when it gets to you, and like it's just a real bad idea to put cannabis on that level, because there's even some people that maybe they're not even potheads. They're just like, they do it when they need to, even kind of thing.
yeah.
And to take that away, it's just like, so you have the casual, maybe I had a match and I effed myself up, like pills, drinking, or smoking. I'll take smoke. That's my favorite. And then you can't do that. Oh, okay. Well, now I got to do pills or drink. And then you have the person that's in constant pain or constant whatever that rely on cannabis. And they're like, well, shit, I don't want to lose my job. So now it's either pills or drinking. And so it's like this constant loop, and people can judge all day, but it's like, you don't know, man, unless you're there. And it's like, it's really hard. And the fans, God bless them, they don't understand truly the energy and how much physically is involved in being a professional wrestler.
Right. It's amazing the stuff that goes on, and the things that you do,
I know.
all for the love of the business.
But bottom line, Spencer Pratt, get your shit together, man.
Yeah, Spencer Pratt. I mean, it's coming back to you. All right, we're about 1 hour and 30 minutes in. Anything you want to touch on before we go?
Yes, one more thing. On Tuesday, we lost a legend. Donald Gibb, Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds, etc.
Nerds!
Nerds! And then he turned into a nerd.
He did. I think a lot of people forget that. I love Revenge of the Nerds too.
Oh my gosh. That's okay. I'm a person that I usually like 2's better. Revenge of the Nerds 1 is the bomb. I do like 2 better because there's a different aspect of it, and you got Ogre at the end. Oh my god. They call us names. They call us nerds.
No, on 15.
Yes.
Come on. I started watching it, and then I stopped. I got sidetracked fairly recently. But yeah, the end where Ogre becomes a nerd at the end. But he was in so much. He was in a
It's
ton.
so good. It's so good.
But yeah, Ogre. He'll always be Ogre.
And they said that, he had some ongoing health issues for some time now, 71. He was 71. So, I mean, not that old, but,
No. But like, where did he disappear to? From the
you know what
80s?
though? I feel this is how I feel. I feel he's one of these people that like saw the dark side of Hollywood and was like, that's not for me. So he just like was a working actor for a while and did his thing. You know what I'm saying? And I give that more respect.
Right. I get what you're saying. But we grew up with all these like iconic
I know
movie actors that were in all these movies we loved in the 80s and early 90s. And then like, where the hell did they all go? But
that's what I'm telling you. If they disappeared, that means
they were too good. They were good people.
They were good people, in my opinion. Not always, but majority speaking, and I feel that Donald Gibb is in that list right there. So God bless him right now, wherever his soul is. Um, Ogre Man. I have a Revenge of the Nerd story, and I'll make sure to text you a picture.
Please.
So back in the Disney, brother, when it was just medical cannabis here, I had a card, of course, and I used to go to this place, and there was this grocery store next to it. And so when I used the grocery store to get like my ATM out of to get the cash out for the dispensary. So I went there and I freaking see Curtis Armstrong Booger. And I'm like,
Oh.
and my friend was with me. He knew that I love Booger because not only do I love him as Booger, more so as Ak in my favorite movie ever, which is One Crazy Summer, which is an 80s movie. It's my favorite freaking movie, and he's in it.
I
And
remember it.
oh, I love that movie. I tell my family, I'm like, oh, it's time. I give you guys time off. It's time to watch One Crazy Summer. Jeremy Piven's in it. Anyways, John Cusack, Demi Moore, Bobcat Goldthwait. So because when people say, what's your favorite movie ever? I always say One Crazy Summer. Curtis Armstrong means a lot to me, more than Booger, but Booger is iconic, especially in 2, because that's when he meets the guy that he tries to impress.
Yeah. His
Yeah.
sensei or whatever. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And if you ever talk to Aaron Stevens, he will tell you, I can burp like Booger. And one day I will do it here on the show. And I can out burp. Like I used to do as my parlor trick at bars. I would be like, I'll burp anyone. Give me some Diet Dr. Pepper. I would out burp people. So Booger has been a big inspiration. So when I saw Curtis Armstrong, when I got my money, I was in my car. I started following him like a psycho. I was following him. And then when I finally caught up to him, my friend's like, what are you going to do? And I looked at him and went, oh my God, Booger. And then he just kind of looked at me weird. And then some time passed. And then I was on the Sunset Strip one day, and I was at this famous hot dog spot, and he was there. And I went up to him. I said, I'm so embarrassed. And he remembered when I told him the story.
Oh,
and
did
then
he
I
really?
I got to take a picture with him. So I'll send it to you after we're done
Send me the
here.
picture.
And he was so freaking nice. He was like, oh yeah. And I was like, I go, I bet you thought it was crazy. He was like, a little bit, you just yelled Booger and then you sped off. It's like it was
I feel like he could be a
remembered.
dick though. He seems like he could be a dick.
He was nice to me. He was nice. And I was with people, so he could it's not like I was just this little girl bopping up to him. Like I was just like, he was really nice and just kind of charming, and I was like, oh, my little Curtis Armstrong.
Of course.
But he was not in a creepy way. He was just like cool.
No, it doesn't have to be creepy. Of course, he's gonna be nice to the female. He's
Either way.
Booger. He's Booger.
But hey, there's been times I've approached people. Like when I had my Dave Faustino feud for a long time, it started because he was a dick to me. It was a dick, and we had a feud. Because
he's Bud Bundy. Of course, he's a dick.
Little bitch. But he
He's
apologized.
Grandmaster B.
Nonetheless. He apologized. But bottom line is, there's been people that have been little dicks. But Curtis Armstrong was so awesome to me, and I'm always grateful for that. And going back to freaking Donald Gibb, like he was so iconic as freaking Ogre, and he's done so many other, like you said, side things and been iconic in that. But to me, nerds, it's just my thing. 1 and 2, man. I watched them all. Remember when 7-Eleven had this scratch and sniff back in the 90s? I was all about Jefferson. He came back and everything. Ted McGinley.
I will also have to give a RIP shout out to Barry Blaustein, the director of Beyond the Mat. He passed away earlier this week. Had the opportunity to interview him 2 years ago with Francine on Eyes Up Here. Huge thrill for me because Beyond the Mat's basically the reason I wanted to get into like pro wrestling production, because I got to see what that was like firsthand. Like, okay, yes, I wanted to work in wrestling. Sure, I could say it till I was blue in the face, but now I got a chance to see it courtesy of Beyond the Mat. And getting the chance to talk to Barry as we were leading into the interview. We talked probably 3 times on the phone, 2 or 3 times. I think maybe we missed a call or something, but 2 or 3 times. Just the nicest guy, but he's very sick for the last few years. So it was very sad to hear that he passed away this week. So RIP to Barry Blount.
I look forward to doing some cardio and checking out that video I RT'd on Twitter. I want to see that interview you guys did. Dude, Beyond the Mat, I remember I grew up in Ontario, California, and Chino, California. When I was living in Ontario, went to the Ontario Mills, excuse me, went to that theater and line out the door. We were all ready to see Beyond the Mat. We were the marks. It was like a show. I'm getting chills right now. It was like a wrestling show in there. We were all cheering and booing, and like it was like we were at that film. And here's the thing, I for about 15 or more years have been a professional video editor. That film, like, it is such a good story. It is showing you the lens, and then being a professional wrestler, it is showing you that lens. It was so raw and real, and man, like I'm telling you right now, I haven't seen something on wrestling like that that's ever affected me like Beyond the Mat did. I'm telling you that right now. Like, I've seen some that came close, but no, not like that. Beyond the Mat was on a whole other level. It was like kayfabe was still alive, and to see that peek behind the curtain, and it's like, oh man,
Like,
it was
the
amazing.
fact that Vince McMahon is involved in it and lets you behind the curtain of the WWF, and then you go on the road with some of the older guys like Jake, and you see when Jake was at his not so best,
Yes.
and you see the Demons, and you see what ECW was like on a pay-per-view night, like and then all the stuff with Mick Foley and the drama with the kids at ringside when he's getting hit with the chair. I mean, like, it's just literally, I mean, I hate to sound like an old man, but it is such a time that will never be duplicated. And I look back at it as when I was interviewing at WWE, I thought back to Beyond the Mat when Barry Blaustein was walking through the halls of Titan Tower with the cameras in Beyond. I'm like, I'm in the rooms that Beyond the Mat was filming in, because he's taking the camera this way and he's telling them shoot that way and go this. And like, that was me walking through the halls being like, oh my God, I can't.
You're experiencing what you
couldn't-
saw.
Yes, I couldn't believe it.
You're experiencing what you saw, dude. And that's the thing. And that's why, like,
I wish I took pictures when I was in Titan Tower.
right?
These are my pictures. I can go back and I can watch that, because it's almost the same thing.
Yes. That's what people like. And I get fans love it, but when you have experiences like that, like, it takes it to a different level, and it's so effing real. And it's just, I wish filmmaking was more like, I know it still exists and it's out there like that, but I wish it was more like that. I wish that's why with Spencer, Beyond the Mat shit, Spencer, and you're over here with your AI bullshit. Again, you can get the crash and the needles. I get it. But the other stuff, come on, bitch. You know better, because that's how you tell a real story. Oops, are you not telling a real story? Oh, that's why you're using AI. My bad.
Spencer, you killing
My
me,
bad.
man.
My bad. But anyways, yes. And I will always remember Beyond the Mat. And when I saw that he passed, like, I never knew him. I always heard good things about him. Exactly what you said. Like, so nice and this and that. Like, and here's what's interesting. Do you know anything about Jason Blaustein?
I know the name, but I feel like if you say it, I'll know it because I know the name Jason Blaustein.
I could be wrong. Allegedly, there's a dude running out there named Jason Blaustein. And I believe that he was his Jason Blaustein's uncle. I think that's what it was. He was his uncle. I could be wrong, but somehow related.
Let's see. Jason Blaustein. Not seeing anything.
Okay, so the reason why I bring
A
this,
wrestling guy?
he's a promoter vendor guy
From
And
San Francisco?
No, Long Island, I think.
Long Island, okay.
New York area. Here's why I bring him up. Unless I'm wrong, he's supposedly related to, I'm sorry, the Beyond the Mat guy's name again, Blaustein. What is it again? Barry. Sorry. Because Jason Blaustein tainted the Blaustein name for me.
Okay, is this about a bad bad convention?
He's that guy, yeah.
Okay, yes, that's how I know Jason Blaustein's name. Okay, yes.
Supposedly, he's like a family member of him. I think it's his nephew. I think. So it's interesting because especially women in wrestling know Jason Blaustein.
Oh my God, I think, yes, I know exactly who you're talking about now.
And then back when I first got fired from WWE, my first appearance shortly after was with Blaustein. He had a Long Island convention where he stiffed a bunch of people. And it's like this infamous thing where like it was like a disaster because he promised so many people all this money, blah, blah, blah. And I can't talk. Interesting enough, Mick Foley that night introduced me to sushi, and I'm a sushi whore. So like he created this monster. Thanks a lot, Mick Foley. You created the sushi monster here. He took care of people like Mick Foley and the top people, but everyone that wasn't like a big name like that, he like screwed over. And it was like this whole thing in the early 2000s that was like a thing. But it wasn't until a couple years ago I looked him up because I've had experiences with him after that.
Right.
That I used to love Jason Blaustein on the fact that he gave us girls work. Because what people don't realize is even though the women can bring in a lot of money, we get cheap changed and the men always make more. So people like Blaustein that like values the women, I thought was like this positive thing, but he ended up being this big old creep. And I always thought, where's this entitlement? And it came that he was supposedly the nephew of Barry.
I think that gene pool might have a little chlorine in it.
And here's the thing. Here's a funny story. So I remember I took a Blaustein booking, and this is where I got to meet the Soup Nazi. I got to meet Maestro, and the Maestro on Seinfeld.
Okay.
He played not only in the Twisted Sister videos, but he was the heel dad in One Crazy Summer.
Oh,
so
okay.
It was awesome meeting him. Ice-T, I rapped to Ice-T. I went up to him because Ice-T was supposed to accompany LAX at a pay-per-view for TNA. And then he and Coco, because she was coming with, and I was so excited to meet Coco, they got snowed in. So instead they got this rapper named Filthy. So whatever pay-per-view we came out and it was Filthy, it was supposed to be Ice-T. And so I went up to Ice-T at this convention, and I said, I kept telling everyone at TNA, I wanted to come up to you and tell you something. And he was like, what's that? And I looked Ice-T dead in the eyes and I went, I am a nightmare walking, psychopath talking, king of my jungle, gangster, stuck and live my life like a firecracker, quick as my fuse. I did the whole colors thing to Ice-T. So
And what was his
Blau-
reaction?
he loved it. He was like, oh, he was like, yeah, we got snowed in. And so Blaustein, Jason Blaustein, he gave good moments. I met Terry from Three's Company, and I'm a
Oh,
huge Three's
okay.
Company mark. Huge. And so Blaustein has made memories. Blaustein has given women their proper pay.
Okay.
But Blaustein is an ass.
He's a
And
creepo.
at that convention, I remember I was so excited. I was hugging Terry from Three's Company, Priscilla Barnes. I was like, you don't understand. I love you. And at the time, I had a live stream called the Regal Beagle video chat. I said, I have a live stream called the Regal Beagle video chat. And she kept going, you're a wrestler? You're so tiny. I said, you're Terry. She's like, you're a wrestler? And she couldn't get over it. We had wine. She was like, my husband's from Spain. We're drinking wine. It was awesome. And then who comes walking down with intent? Terry Reynolds.
Oh,
in
boy.
her awesome Victoria's Secret pajamas. Not sexy, but like the matchy awesome. She goes up to Jason Blaustein, says nothing, chokes him out to where Terry Reynolds is like, I don't even know she's 5 foot.
Yeah.
And she's like
tiny.
this big. Men were trying to pry her off Jason Blaustein, and she didn't say shit. She just she just kept going, and he was turning red, about to pass out, and grown ass men were trying to pry her off. Later, I was like, Terry, why did you do that? She goes, I don't remember now. And then the last time I got booked with Jason Blaustein, I brought it up to the dude who picked me up from the airport, and he goes, I was sitting right there. So that sums up Jason Blaustein.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna hope that they are not related, him and Barry, because
I
Barry
think they
was
are.
him and Barry. Barry was
they
the nicest guy on planet Earth, and
And that's the
Jason
thing. When
is a
I found
creepo.
out a couple years ago that supposedly that was the connection, I was like, I've heard nothing but nice things about Barry. Nothing.
Yeah.
And I respect him as a filmmaker. How is he related to Jason Blaustein?
Yeah, I don't know. That's yikes. That's bad.
Anyways,
That's bad.
so
You
that's
can
all I
find
got.
if you Google Jason Blaustein, you'll have some fun. reading
Glamour
some-
under the stars.
Yeah,
Here's
there's some
the
fun.
thing. Can I say this?
Go
A
ahead.
little Lodi Shelly. Can I say this?
Go ahead.
One of the things that I will be grateful for, and I will say this on record, for shady ass, creepy Jason Blaustein, is the last time he booked me was it was because I'm a bench warmer model. So bench warmer models back in the day, if you guys don't know, is like lingerie, pinup, Playboy model girls, and we're on these cool trading cards. So iconic. And so he would book a lot of the benchwarmer girls along with the diva girls. And so I was like a perfect fit because I was both. And so my last booking with him, I was really grateful because I got to do a little photo shoot, which I love, and then for more cards. And then it was at a bar. And so it was us girls just kind of hanging out, schmoozing with people, having happy hour and food. And I never talked about this, but I'll say this now. I'm comfortable with it. Before Ashley Massaro passed away, I was upset with her. And Jason's gig, Ashley was there. And I got to talk to her because Ashley was a very dear friend of mine. And I got to tell her why I was upset with her. And we got to talk about it. And that was really awesome. That was in March. And then shortly, what was it, in May, I think?
May. Yep. It was actually the weekend of my last convention in Richmond that I had.
She passed away. And so I remember I was so pissed at Blaustein at the end of that shoot because we did the shoot and then we did the appearance at the bar. And then I got to have an awesome time with the girls afterwards. And then the next day, I was really pissed at Jason. We're doing our signings because we're signing our cards. And before I left for the airport, I remember I go, you know what, Jason? You really pissed me off, but you know what? Being booked here on this weekend, I got what I needed. So thank you for this weekend. And I slammed the door and I left. And that's how I feel about it because I had no idea that was the last time I was going to see fucking Ashley, dude.
Yeah,
And I was able to tell her why I was mad at her. And she was able to say, I absolutely understand why, and I'm sorry. And to have that, I wouldn't trade that for the world. So the fact that I was mixed up with shady ass Blaustein, Jason, excuse me, because I don't want to take Barry, Jason Blaustein for that, I'll take that.
We'll take that. All right. Well, we'll take that as a cue too to wrap it up and get on out of here for tonight. Quite the epic, if you will.
Here's the thing. Part 2 is next week. I'll tell you when we stop recording why it's part 2, but we're going to go to part 2 next week.
Oh,
on the Blaustein and that situation.
Teaser-Rooney. I love it.
Yep.
Let's do it. All right. Well, yeah, we'll get out of here this week. You'll want to follow me. It's at Chad EMB on X. If you want to find us more here on YouTube, head on over to the YouTube Music app. Find the playlist. Add it to your repertoire. You can stream us. You can listen to it. You can watch it. You can do whatever you want with it. I mean, you could just take us on the regular YouTube. You don't even need to go to the YouTube Music and just consume TMI. But if you're watching us on YouTube, episodes 1 through 17 and now 18, please comment. Please share your thoughts with us. What are you thinking? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you have a thought about what we're talking about? We want the comments. The comments need to increase like triple, quadruple. Okay, we need you. This is my plea. Comment. So that's all I got to say about that. But yeah, 1 through 17 in the archive and on YouTube Music. You can listen to it as a podcast or you could do the video.
If you want to find out what I'm up to, go to shellymartinez.net/links and I'm there.
She's there. I'm here. And we're out of here for Shelly from Cali. This is the Chadster. We will catch you on the flip side.